since I've added Alan Sama's programs, I actually made more money last month, and I was pretty well paid than I've ever made. And this month's off to another great start. I've been profitable now, really profitable, going on 3 months. So I'm very impressed.
Okay, so today we're joined by Anders Holstrom. He's in our Market Power program and a couple of our other programs. And, thank you for being here first and foremost. And just trying to give everyone a little bit of background about how you found OptionGenius and what has been your past as a trader. So
Sure. Going way back around 2006, I switched jobs and I went to actively managing, a big portion of my retirement at that point. And I don't know if you remember, but 2007 was a horrible year. I was smart enough when I was listening to all the talking heads on TV and they all sounded like they didn't know what they were doing to get out of the market. So I pulled my money out in February of that year. And sure enough, in March, like the bottom just fell out. Knowing what I know now, I would have gotten back in the market a lot earlier than I wound up getting in, but I did wind up doing pretty well. I almost tripled my money over the next several years. So I had a good friend of mine talking to me about 2 years ago, about trading and how, he doesn't do anything but trading. And I was like, wow, that's really interesting. And so that kind of got me interested in trading. And so about 2 years ago, I, on paper, started doing day trading operations and, actively trading and learning. I couldn't name you all the books, but I'm sure I've read 40 trading books by now. I've listened to, I guarantee you, 1,000 different podcasts. I'm a podcast. I suck podcasts down. I'm listening for little, and it's weird. No matter what the podcast is, you can almost always pick something up that can help you with your trading. So I listen to all different types of podcasts. And I want to say about 1.5 years ago, I started listening to OptionGenius as one of my, go-to podcasts. And I had several other ones that I was listening to kind of on that same frame. But every time OptionGenius would come out, or I even listened to all the stuff going back probably, I don't remember when he started, over 10 years ago. I've listened to a lot of Alan Sama, I can tell you. And anyway, so I was really impressed with this message. But to be honest with you, when I had first started, it was more, I was more doing day trading type operations, and I was not familiar at all with options. I was just getting my information from Alan Sama and a couple other podcasts like How to Do It without actually doing the trading. And then about 1 year ago, I've been in the IT industry for almost 30 years. I was notified by the company that bought our company out that my services were no longer needed. And so I went from being a, on paper kind of guy trading and having moderate success on paper to actually having to make a living doing trading. Okay. And so at that point, I started doing active trading with very mixed results. Thank goodness I have a great wife and she supported me like huge. That was a huge thing for me. But, I wasn't losing money either, but I just wasn't making enough to get anywhere close to the money that I made doing what I did before. And I've been listening to podcasts and working on different things and, having, moderate success doing what I was doing with the day trading part. And I'm like, what? I had gotten to a point where I needed, if I was going to replace my income that I used to make, I really needed some other avenues that were more successful. And I said, that Alan Sama, he seems really honest and like everything, a couple of things, for somebody to be making the statements that he's been making and been doing them for so long, if he wasn't, right on the money, he would be out of the business. They would have run him off the podcast and FCC, everybody would be after him. But I have to tell you, he sounded really honest. I'm a really good read of people. I did a lot of background check of Alan Sama. And I think I drove him crazy when I was getting ready to sign up, but that's okay. We got past that and I signed up and I got into the blank check program. And I want to say I was in that for about a month or a month and a half. And then I heard about the Market Power program. And boy, I was like, wow, I need a piece of that because this blank check stuff's going so great. And Alan's telling me to do it. It's like, I'm just going to blindly, trust him on this and like go in with this thing. And, even if it takes me a couple of years to get paid back for, getting into it, it's like, it'll be worth it. It'll be just that other piece, so now I've got my day trading, I've got the blank check. And then I got into Market Power. I have to tell you, what kind of got me interested in it was like the winning percentages that he was, advertising. I can't remember if it was like 95 or 98%. It was pretty high. I was impressed with the back testing that he had done. I'd listened to, him talk, and then, I listened to the information about market power, and, he'd gone back years and years to check and make sure that this program actually worked and would do what it needed to do. So I liked what I was hearing. He had sent me a question, hey, you want to jump in? And I was like, I don't know. I just got into this blank check stuff, and I'm like, maybe I want to get into this thing. And then so I started a little late, but I have to tell you, it's been great, and it's been pretty much right on the money.
Great. I was going to ask you, like, what specifically like made you join Market Power, and you kind of answered that. So
yeah, I know. I kind of jumped ahead. I kind of
no, it's good. It's like, was there any kind of like specific thing you were looking for? Did you have like any expectations before you joined Market Power?
I was looking, kind of on the same roadmap that I was on before I joined the blank check program. I needed diversification from what I was doing, and blank check was a diversification. This was a diversification. Obviously I have my day trading, so I have like several legs that I stand on with my trading, and is another piece. I feel like with the way markets move, that if you're too tied into one particular market, that you could wind up having all of your stuff kind of drop down at once or go up at once. And this just seemed like another piece that kind of would assure like my ability to continue to make money profitably no matter what the markets were doing. So it looked really good. I liked the sound of it. I liked the idea of how you made your money, where it didn't matter if things are going up or going down. It's kind of like, this is how it works, and you just do it. And so for me, that was a huge piece of why I wanted to bring that Market Power on board.
Yeah, that's kind of like a signature of all the programs. You can make money whether it's going up or going down or going
Yes.
sideways. That kind of always appealed to me as well.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, how's the support been from not only the OptionGenius team, Alan and so forth, but the community, behind you? Do you feel like you have like good support as like, colleagues that are trading beside you,
Yeah. That was part of the reason for choosing to go with Alan, because, there's a lot of people out there that offer programs that you can join, and chat rooms and things like that you can jump in with and get feedback and things like that. But they seem to be more broadly based, and actually getting real help from them when you need it was, I had tried a couple of them and it was really difficult to do. And, I'm listening to OptionGenius, Alan talk about how like support works and all that. And I have to tell you, once again, he like said something and he did it. And, I have to tell you, brought me on when I have questions or get in trouble, the community jumps in, or, I have somebody to help me directly, kind of like my mentor. If there's an issue, I can just get on and say, hey, chat almost anytime. I don't know. I haven't tested all the hours of the day, but almost anytime that I need help, I zip something out there and he just jumps right back in and helps me out. I know I got in trouble like at the very beginning of Market Power after my second trade. Like I had made a small mistake in like how I had placed it, and contacted my mentor, and like boom, like right on the money. Everything worked out perfectly. I sweated a little bit more than I probably should have. Very impressed.
Great. I mean, it's always important to have that,
yes.
Because especially when you're starting out with like a new program or whatnot, you gotta have that support in place to really feel like you're not alone, right? So that's good to hear. So how has your trading changed at all since you joined OptionGenius? Like your style perhaps, or your results?
Style and results. I keep in mind, I was doing day trading operations. My paper trading that I did for a year was like exclusively day trading. And I don't know how many of you out there have tried to do that, but it is very hectic, very high stress. You're watching the markets like when you get up in the morning, when you go to bed at night. And, I still kind of am in that mode a little bit.
Right.
The one thing I like about, Market Power and the blank check program that I'm in is that it has taken some of that stress off. When I put on a trade, I feel, like at least 95% sure that the trade's going to work out like in my favor. I have to tell you, so far I'm 100% like I haven't had any issues at all with Market Power. Like I've been doing this for months and months now. and like not missed a trade, not missed a beat, or had any kind of issues with any of the trades. So they've been all winners for me. I know at some point I'll have to make a move or potentially take a loser, but I will have banked so many profits at that point that it will be just a minor blip in the whole program. So anyway, that's kind of on that front, that's gone a lot better. I feel that the amount of time I put in, like all of my training activities, I was already well on my way to getting a new level of security in my ability to replace my IT paycheck. And since I've added Alan Sama's programs, like I actually made more money last month, and I was pretty well paid than I've ever made. So very impressed. And this month's off to another great start, but I've been profitable now for going on like really profitable going on 3 months. So I'm very impressed. And I've only been with Market Power for maybe 3 or 4 months. Somewhere in that neighborhood, probably 4 months.
Yeah, probably since we started probably around
April.
Right around April or so in earnest.
Yeah.
So that's some good times. It's almost hard to believe, for some people to hear that what you're saying, because we have, I think, up to 48 trades now.
Yeah.
And they've all been winners, which is, people understandably so are like, how can that be true? Right. So it's nice to hear, from someone like yourself who's in the program actually doing it to, back that up, because you are doing it.
Yeah. And so just so that, just to give you a feel like where I came into the program, I've got 36 trades under my belt. One is going on as we talk today, but it is a for sure winner at this point. I guess, it's about 120. Like that's a winner. It's booked money as far as I'm concerned, but I'm going to ride it out to the end of the day and squeeze my pennies. But
today is one of those trades where you're like super happy. It's, you get a super easy win, if you will.
You wake up in the morning and it's like, oh,
I got paid.
Put the money in your pocket. Yes. I mean, they're not all like that, but there's enough of them that it's pretty nice to deal with. And, on a typical day when we have a trade on, I'll be looking at it. If it's not one of the ones that's like an instant winner, I'll be checking it out maybe, 3 or 4 times during the day just to see where things are. I have alerts set to let me know if it's time to potentially make a move on the position, but that hasn't happened. Like I haven't had any that triggered me to have to do that so far. So
anyway. But nice to know that you have a plan in place, that we developed a plan that if you do have to adjust it, you can. So pretty good. So kind of a fun question. Do you have any plans for your winnings? Or are you just going to keep rolling in?
So I'm kind of boring, right? My main goal, I'm a professional trader, right? And so my main goal with my trading is to continue to live my lifestyle the way that I enjoy living my lifestyle, which was before, I got laid off at my old job. Most people would be like, oh my gosh. And of course I was too, but I'm like, how am I going to make changes to get myself back to where I was? And so now I'm there. I can see a year from now that my life will be totally changed, because I'll tell you one thing for sure, for anybody that out there that's in the IT business, if you wind up doing something similar that I've done, like the stress level is remarkably less. Like, there's no, worrying about things overnight as far as, whether stuff's going to keep running or you're going to get called for an emergency. And, it's really nice when you have a weekend that you actually can
enjoy.
Market stop at 5 o'clock on Friday, and you can't really do anything until Monday morning. So it's like, don't worry about it. Just
the only thing you got to worry about is like you kind of look forward to the market opening on Monday.
That's it. Yes, that's it. And you're like, okay, let's get rolling and have your new plan. So I'll be honest with you. So on one level, it's like I don't have a nice new boat I want to buy, or vacation I want to take. I want to take a lot of them is the answer, and I want to have my life changed in such a way that, like, if I want to go tomorrow to Key West, we can jump on an airplane tomorrow and get on, and not even think about the money we're spending to make that happen. And I really think in about a year from now, I'll be in that position.
All right.
And this is one of my key, this is like, I've got a couple of legs, but this is like one of my key money makers, like this is a cash machine for me, and I have a couple of them. And so this is a key, one of those key fundamental legs for me living my life how I want to live it.
Wow. Yeah, we're gonna have to do a follow-up interview with you in a year.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right.
In Hawaii, in person, right?
Anywhere you want.
There you go.
That's great. So My last question for you is, let's say there's someone that is, they're listening to podcasts, they've heard a little bit about market power, but they're on the fence. What would you say to that person?
First of all, I was there myself, had to go talk to my wife. I'm like, look, this is, all I know is what I know, right? And I'm a really good read of people. I can tell you, Alan Sama has one of the most, I would say one of the most professionally, one of the most honest people I've ever met. When he says something, it happens. This program is an A+. As a trader, there are different trades that you can make. They can be a C, a D, a B, an A, and then there's an A+. And the people that really make good money in this business, I think, are doing A+ setups. This is an A+ setup. And if all you do is this setup, you will be profitable and very profitable. I would say don't miss it. You will be very happy to get on board with this, and the support and the people to get you off the floor are going to be there to get you rolling, and you will be so happy that you followed through with the decision.
Well, thank you for that and joining us today. And we appreciate you. We love having you in the group, and
anytime, Matt.
Been a lot of fun. So thanks again.
Okay. Take care.